Finding trigonometric functions given a point on the terminal side of the angle.
So the number one given is 1 and negative square root of 3. So there's a perpendicular line with right triangle. And in the left side, there's a theta. So our opposite is negative square root of 3. The adjacent is 1 and the hypotenuse is 2. So we will use SOHCAHTOA. So let's find the sixth trigonometric function. First trigonometric function is sine theta. So we will use So opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is negative square root of 3 and our hypotenuse is 2. So negative square root of 3 over 2. So next, cosine theta. So we will use ka. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So 1 over 2. So that's our cosine theta. So in tangent theta, we will use TOA. So opposite over adjacent. So negative square root negative 3 over 1. So we will not include 1 because it's the one. So cosecant theta, we will flip the negative square root 3 over 2. So it will become 2 over negative square root of 3. So in secant, we will flip the 2 and 1. So it will remain 2. So at cotangent equals, we will flip the 3 and 1. So it will become 1 over negative square root of 3. So our number 2 given is 1 and square root of 3. So I'll draw the perpendicular line, and in the upper part there is right triangle, and in here there's a theta. So our opposite is square root of 3, and our adjacent is 1, and our hypotenuse is 2. So let's use SOHCAHTOA. So we will find the sixth trigonometric function. So sine theta equals, we will use So opposite over hypotenuse. So square root of 3 over 2. So square root of 3 over 2. So cosine equals, we will use ka. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So 1/2. So next, tangent theta equals, we will use TOA. So square root of 3 over 1. It's okay that there is no 1 in the lower part. So let's move. Cosecant theta equals, we will flip square root of 3 over 2. So it will become 2 over square root of 3. So secant theta equals, we will flip 1/2. So it will become 2. So cotangent theta, we will flip 3 over 1, square root 3 over 1. So it will become square root 3 over 1. So 1. So the third given is 3 and 4. And I'll draw the perpendicular line. And there is, the upper part, there is a right triangle. And here is the theta. And our opposite is 4. Our adjacent is 3. And our hypotenuse is 5. So we will use SOHCAHTOA again. And we will find the 6 trigonometric functions. So sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. So 4/5. So there's 4/5. So cosine theta equals, we will use ka. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So 3/5. So tangent theta equals, we will use TOA. We will, the one is opposite over adjacent. So it will become 4/3. So cosecant theta equals, we will flip 4/5, so it will become 5/4. So secant theta equals, we will flip 3/5, so it will become 5/3. So cotangent theta equals, we will flip the 4/3, so it will become 3/4. So the number 4 given is -1 and -1. And I draw the perpendicular line. In the left side, here is right triangle, and here in the upper part, right part is theta. So our opposite is -1, our adjacent is -1, and hypotenuse is 2. So we will use SOHCAHTOA. So we will find the 6 trigonometric functions. So sin theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. So -1/2. So next is cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So -1/2. So next is tangent theta equals opposite over adjacent. So -1. It's okay that no 1 in the lower part. So cosecant theta equals, we will flip the 2 and -1, so it will become -2. So secant theta equals, we will flip 2 and -1, so it will become -2. So tangent, we will flip, and cotangent theta equals, we will flip -1 and -1, so it will become -1.
So in this question, we have to find the 6 trigonometric function values of the angle theta if its terminal side contains each indicated point. Remember that this is a coordinate of x and y. So what we're going to do is we are going to draw a perpendicular line that represents the x and y axis. So we have x as -√3 and y as -1. So we are going to put this in quadrant 3 because it is negative and the other one is negative. So we're gonna draw a right angled triangle, whatever you call that. Now this will be -√3 and this will be -1. So if we really want to solve this, we should be finding the hypotenuse. On finding the hypotenuse, we have to use the Pythagorean theorem. So -√3 squared plus -1 squared, and that would be equals to c squared. So 3 plus 1 is equal to c squared, and the answer will be 4 is equal to c squared. But to get the exact hypotenuse, we have to eliminate the square. That 2 right there, so our c is equals to 2. So that is our missing hypotenuse. Oops, and I forgot to put a theta right there. Okay. So now, in getting the trigonometric functions, we must use the SOHCAHTOA. That means sine, cosine, and tangent. And if you want to get the cosecant, the secant, and the cotangent, we must do the reciprocal of these 3 keywords here. So I'm just gonna put here cho, sha, cow. Now remember, the hypotenuse here always have to stay positive. It doesn't have to be a negative, even though it is in the negative side of this x and y axis. Remember, it's always positive. So we are going to be finding the 6 trigonometric functions. So what is our sign in here? Our sign would be -1/2. Why? Because it is the opposite over the hypotenuse. And now we have to do cosine. Our cosine would be -√3 over 2. And why again? Because this is adjacent to the hypotenuse from the SOHCAHTOA. See, adjacent and hypotenuse. So our tangent would be -1 over -square root of 3. Because it is the opposite over adjacent. And then what do we have to do? We still have to simplify this. So our tangent of theta would be square root of 3 over 3. Now we have to find the cosecant of theta. The cosecant will be the reciprocal of sine theta. So our cosecant here would be -2. Now we have to find the secant. On finding the secant, it is the opposite of cosine. So the opposite of cosine will be 2 over square root of 3, but in a negative way. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rationalize, and our answer will be -2 square root of 3 over 3. Finding the cotangent, we are going to do the reciprocal of tangent, and our reciprocal of tangent be square root of 3. That's it. Only square root of 3.